research method because I really wanted to focus on understanding experiences, perception, and thoughts of participants and to derive from them. And I use qualitative interviews, and I'm very happy. I have interviewed almost all the key people who were decision makers and who held command positions during the period 2005 to 2009 or 2009. And I also interviewed very hardcore LTTE sea tigers, in fact, someone who came to attack me once. So I think I derived a lot of information from that, and I also interviewed a very top-rung international LTTE maritime figure. So with that wealth of information, I use the interpretive paradigm to evaluate or to analyze my data. When I do that, I came out with some of the organizational drawbacks of the Navy. One thing is lack of understanding on the need for a stronger maritime defense. This is not only the Navy, the country as a whole. We didn't understand the need to have a stronger maritime defense. Then non-aligning maritime strategy with grand strategy. I think I have not seen a grand strategy before 2005, but after 2005, I have seen a grand strategy for this country, and we, the Navy, became part of that grand strategy. Then, of course, lack of intelligence gathering, lack of understanding of LTTE, especially their international network, the capabilities, and also lack of understanding about LTTE innovation. There were times Navy did not know what happened. There were times we were not really understanding their innovative things. And also, we did not accept that the LTTE grand strategy was centered around the ocean. We thought there are a bunch of fishermen turned smugglers turned terrorists, we can tackle them, but it was not the case. So these were some of the drawbacks. And then also, we could not interdict the LTTE logistics. And the logistic was pretty much, when I was debriefing the Sea Tigers, they said towards the latter part of the war, even the toothbrush for them came by sea. Not only the weapons, even the toothbrush came to them by sea. And the Navy took a very long time to determine the character of maritime conflict. Of course, the tide changed in favor of Navy. So to my study, I think identifying the need to change the SLN approach by the political and the naval leadership as a key point. Then, of course, during the 30-year-old battle, the Navy evolved through experiments, through experience, and also understanding the requirement of unconventional approach. The moment we shifted from conventional to unconventional approach, we started winning. Development of own intelligence network, the willingness to take challenges and risk, that is basically the leadership attributes. I will be failing in my duty if I do not recognize Admiral Wasantha Karannagoda, who was the commander of the Navy during the crucial time supporting the President and the Secretary of Defense. The leadership traits in him changed the mindset of the Navy. The willingness to take challenges and risk I mentioned, identifying and attacking the center of gravity. Until we attacked the center of gravity of the LTTE Sea Tigers, we were not winning. And also, the Navy went on to into R&D in a big way and network-centric warfare. Until 2005, we had many surveillance mechanisms, but they were not connected. The battle picture, the tactical picture was not available to the commanders to see what is happening and to make decisions. Then engagement of asymmetric tactics and layered defense as some of the key points that tilted the balance in favor of the Navy. And what did the Navy do in task-oriented wise? They had to sever the LTT sea lines of communications, and they had to protect the own sea lanes of communication, especially the north and the east link, or the east and the north link, and destroy the Sea Tigers as a viable force. And then Sri Lanka Navy was used in coordinated effort with the other militaries. Before that, we have seen the individual services fighting their individual war, not in a coordinated, concentrated manner. And also, intelligence sharing gained from many agencies finally helped the Navy to pinpoint their targets and go behind them and attack them. And then, effective in destroying the critical capabilities of the LTTE Sea Tigers. The result was that the LTTE could not maintain the higher operational tempo which they enjoyed previously because they did not have the necessary logistics, they did not have the necessary manpower to do so. Now this allowed the government forces to carry on with the same tempo that they desired to do so. And also, we all know that the LTT from time to time depended on ceasefire agreements. That was not really to engage in discussion with the government for a political solution, but to regroup and rebuild their capabilities. But we did not allow that to happen post-2005. We kept the tempo. So combined operations resulted higher than expected loss rate for Sea Tigers. Then SLN attacks caused heavy Sea Tiger losses as quality and quantity of Sri Lanka Navy improved. The Sea Tigers were gradually ground down to irrelevance. The LTT fortunes also faded. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the conclusion part of my paper. When I use those 4 theories that I mentioned to you, and I analyze the rise and fall of the LTTE Sea Tigers and regaining of the sea control by the Sri Lanka Navy and turning the tide in favor of them, I have made certain observation, even if there is a similar situation in the future, which we can be really focusing on. The first word is the synergy, integrating and synchronizing operation, not to fight individual battles, but integrate, synchronize operations with a clear objective, clear strategy, rather than going in the dark and trying to show that you are the great. It doesn't happen, it doesn't work. Then simultaneity and depth, used to bring force to bear on the opponent's entire structure in a near simultaneous manner. When the army was advancing, when the air force was bombing, when the navy was blockading, the LTTE and the Sea Tigers could not bear it because there was simultaneity in attack. There was depth in attack. Then anticipation. If you plan properly, if you understand, if you study the battle properly, you will be alert to the unexpected and for the opportunity to the situation. The balance, appropriate mix of forces and capabilities. It's not a secret that our force level increased in the Navy from 35,000 to 55,000 from the year 2006 to 2009. That was only the force level. But balancing force with capabilities, that was the key. Then leverage, impose the will on the enemy and maintain initiative. There were times that the LTTE was using the leverage against government forces. Now, the moment we started changing that tactic, it worked in favor of us. Then timing and tempo, that assist the forces in dominating action and operate beyond the enemy's ability to react. When you keep pressing, when you keep the tempo up, when your timing is right, things will happen in your favor. The operational reach and approach, basically the range in which forces can prudently operate effectively. Now this is a concept during the 2007, the Sri Lanka Navy used greatly to its advantage because in any theoretical term, any evaluation, Sri Lanka Navy did not have the capability to venture 2,000 miles into the ocean and attack, but they did it. And forces and functions, that is basically concurrently target both the force and the functions. Then arranging operations, basically how you arrange operations to achieve desired end state, not just to please anyone, not just to make glorify of one, but to attain a clear objective. Then a key point is attacking the center of gravity, capabilities, the location of enemy forces so that he cannot sustain the battle. Then the final point is termination, when to terminate the operation. I think on the 19th of May 2009, we terminated the operation, and on the same day, we became the guardian of the stranded Tamil people. We knew when to fight and when to terminate. And post-termination, we did not let it go. We are still doing our work so that we will prevent a similar occurrence in the future. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the end of my presentation, and thank you for patiently listening to me. Thank you.